It is April 24, 2021, and I'm going on another fast in commemoration of Kelly Clarkson's birthday. So, Kelly Clarkson turns 39 years old today. I remember voting for her like crazy during American Idol Season 1. You gotta remember, this was back in the days when we still had payphones. I was often I was going to college part time at this point. I was often at the campus very late. And I would go to the payphone just to vote over and over and over and over again. And people just thought I was crazy, if I remember correctly. Um, and I followed her for many years. I remember there was a time when she was interviewing for something almost every week. This was around the time that the movie she starred in came out, if I remember correctly. And then she competed in World Idol in 2003. I didn't like her so much when it was on the world stage. There were others that I liked better. But at the American stage, I was voting for her like crazy. And so I commemorate again. And the theme of this fast, so I went on a fast 2 days ago for Earth Day, and I talked about the theme of that was the environmental impacts of eating. This one's going to be more about the social impacts. So 20 years ago, or even 2 years ago, it would have been unimaginable for me to go to a Kelly Clarkson concert or any other concert, right? Because I would get a food craving. You couldn't bring outside food in there. There usually wasn't suitable food in the concert hall for me. And I would often skip out on events like that just because of all the inconvenience of trying to sneak food into the venue or trying to lie about why I need to bring outside food. I mean, I would usually get into an argument with the people at the venue about, I have dietary restrictions and stuff like that. Usually it goes through, but it's annoying. And I hate having to point out that I'm different. I really do. I really do. Yes, I might be different for fasting, but at least I don't have to make noise for it now. I just do it. Now, this is very important for me because only 1 week. Next week, Silverwood Theme Park opens for the season. You see, 5 years ago, when I took my first trip to Silverwood Theme Park, I had just broken up with my girlfriend, and I felt free. I could do all the things that I love to do. And one of the first things that I did when I broke up with my girlfriend was I got lost on the road, and I ended up in Ellensburg, Washington, where I got a very clear sky to view, and I got to see Jupiter and Saturn and the Milky Way. At the time, Jupiter and Saturn were still quite a distance from each other, but they were approaching, and the Milky Way was smack in the middle of it all. I think this was in March, so I'll let you figure out where everything was. And obviously the moon wasn't out because the Milky Way was. Now, and then I remember thinking to myself, wow, this is life as I want it, right? Not as the girl wants it. And so that summer I took a trip back to my family's home. I was in Seattle at the time. I was in between jobs and I had an offer that was a few months out, so I wanted to go home to my family, go to the Computer Olympia conference, fly back, and then drive back to Seattle. And on my way into the East Coast, I spent a day at Silverwood Theme Park. And one of my favorite rides there was Aftershock. And I remember thinking to myself, I would love to break the world record for the most number of times on Aftershock in one day. The problem is that the line takes 2 hours. And I remember thinking to myself, God, I hope one day we have some kind of event where people don't want to come here. Maybe there's a world leader who has come to Coeur d'Alene and everybody wants to take the day to go shake hands with him. Oh my God, I could have the park to myself and ride Aftershock over and over and over again and make a video of myself doing that and go on the Guinness World Book record. And more importantly, just enjoy the ride. And I remember thinking, God, I hope there's a world event. I really regret saying that now because it has shown up, but not in the way that I wanted it to. And maybe who knows? The line might even take longer because they might put space in between the riders, so it's hard to say. But hopefully I'll ride it more times than I did back in 2016. I've also thought about when I get famous for being brave on the rides, maybe one day making a deal with one of the theme parks, to give me VIP kind of status so I could break the world record, and they could also get some advertising out of that, right? I thought about that. I'm not that famous yet. but I thought about it. But more importantly, I'm able to do that now because I don't get interrupted by food cravings, right? 5 years ago, going back to my family was a big challenge. Not because of the drive, but because of how I was going to prepare meals along the way, where I was going to eat. I can think a little bit less about that now, let's put it that way. Certainly, it makes it a lot easier to one day go to a Kelly Clarkson concert. Obviously, it's going to be a long time before we do any of that, right? Anyways, enjoy your freedom when you're fasting. Thanks for watching.